Hi, I'm Sean Burns. The TED Talk I watched was Fusion is Energy Future by Stephen Cowley. Mr. Cowley is a theoretical physicist and an international authority on nuclear fusion and astrophysical plasmas. Not only is Cowley qualified for this task because his work is to study fusion, but he's also able to explain the dense subject using simple examples, and he made big ideas seem more understandable. He used a PowerPoint presentation and various graphs to visually present and emphasize his ideas. One fascinating component I'm still thinking about was when he explained that to create fusion you have to find a way to hold in the heat. Remember, it has to reach 150 million degrees. His visual of the magnetic bottle was a great way to show how the magnetic fields bottle or fence in the heat. He also did a great job explaining the reasons why it is important to continue with fusion research right now so it can be ready sometime in the 2030s. Another important point that stood out was when Cowley said, "We have to shift away from using resources to generate energy. What we are headed for is how to make energy from knowledge." He points out that fusion is a safe, inexhaustible, clean, efficient way to make energy for the growing needs of the world and can help to bring millions out of poverty. At one point, he used his hands to explain the activity of a fusion reaction, but a visual aid picture or graph would have made it easier to understand because he uses so much specific vocabulary. When he did show a graph while explaining a concept, it was better. Structurally, Cowley's speech was organized. Initially, Cowley posed a question as an attention grabber. The first thing he said was, "The key question is, when are we going to get fusion?" He gave an overview of the history of fusion research. He used personal examples to explain how fast we are using up the world's resources and communicated his main points clearly. He also reviewed the alternatives to fusion, fission, wind, and other potential energy sources, and made it clear that fusion will be the most effective. Right now it is very hard to create, but once it is refined, it will be the best alternative. For his last statement, he answered his initial question and predicted we should get fusion in the 2030s, linking his ideas back to his introduction, providing an effective closure. Cowley's delivery came as an interesting impromptu speech. He spoke mostly from memory, but also looked at notes to keep him organized. He used conversational tone, and his pronunciation was clear. He moved his hands to demonstrate points, walked around, and looked out at the audience. Overall, the presentation was good, especially since Cowley had to explain so many difficult details. The visuals helped, but I needed to review it several times to really understand this content.